but it's the only one so far that I would actually consider redoing. So here we are again, headed back to Diablo CrossFit for the second day in a row, third day this week, which it's not nearly as close to me now that I moved, so a lot of driving. But heading to Diablo CrossFit, we're gonna do workout 3, which I have to say, just looking at it, I think it's gonna be a fun one. I kind of think it looks fun. I like toes to bar, I like handstand push-ups, we'll see. But all of them have been hard, so maybe I'm gonna be wrong, and it'll just be hard. Okay, workout 3 is underway, and this was a fun one like I thought it was going to be, but it is also the first and only one I think that I would consider redoing. Will I redo it? I don't know. Maybe I'll make a decision by the time I finish watching this back. But things don't go perfectly, but you know, we're here for fun. So this workout is 4 times, 3 rounds, 10 handstand push-ups, 20 toes to bar. That is what you're seeing right now, so we'll just focus on that portion of it. So I'm still in this first round right now and chipping away at these toes to bar. For me, I enjoy toes to bar. They're something I can do in pretty high sets. So I did start out with big sets. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend that if you feel that toes to bar aren't a strength of yours, because by the third set of these, they do start to go. So I'm just going to warn you about that now, that they may look and feel good in this first set where I finished just over a minute for that first round, but it will change and evolve throughout this workout. So back to the 10 handstand push-ups, and I believe I do this set unbroken again. And then the third set, I end up breaking up the handstand push-ups just because I was thinking more long-term. What's interesting about this workout is this first round, it's fast. Your heart rate gets up, you're moving more quickly, but that ends. I don't even know if it was worth wearing the grips for me. I'm not a big fan of grips, and you don't really need them after these first 3 rounds. So it might have just been a waste of time of playing with my hands there, as you saw. So if you're not super used to using grips and they don't feel like a necessity for you, I don't even know if I would recommend them. 60 toes to bar may sound like a lot, but it's a smaller portion of this workout if you plan on getting through most of it. And I think that it just sort of became something for me to play with now that I'm watching it back versus something that actually helped me tremendously. So I don't know, different thoughts on that. Also, this is sort of a class that we're doing the quarterfinals workouts in. So it gave me limited places to put my camera, which goes into the execution errors that I will talk about as we see them, or just little things that slowed me down. So here, as you see, I'm breaking up these toes to bar a lot more in the second set, and it took me like a minute and a half versus a minute. So things are already slowing down a little bit. So while I was doing this set of handstand push-ups, I sort of thought to myself, do I need to maybe break it up? So I came off, shook out my arms. It wasn't like I was dying or anything. I just sort of wanted to give my arms a break to minimize the time under tension. So I did 6 and 4 there. And now back to the toes to bar. And this round, I'm like, man, I think I just touched my core there. I'm like, all right, we're starting to feel these toes to bar. They're not exactly as easy to just chip away at. So I only did 4 in that first set. And I believe by the end, I'm doing like 2s. And I almost wanted to move over to that shorter bar that's next to me on the left. But I wasn't sure if it was going to be able to be seen in the camera angle, so I didn't want to like make things even more confusing. So I just stuck with the bar I was on, which was a little bit of a jump for me, but just tried to stay on it and consistently get back to doing the toes to bar. So if you're going to break these things up, pick a bar that's low enough that you can easily jump back on. You don't want to have to be putting in all this effort to jump if you're going to be going down to singles. Now, if you're somebody who's can do, I don't know, 30 plus unbroken toes to bar and you're going to be doing big sets, then do whatever you want. Use whatever bar you want. But if you think there's a chance it'll be down to singles or doubles at the end, I would suggest picking a slightly shorter bar so that you can more easily get up onto it if you need to make big jumps. Just my recommendation for that, and to just respect the fact that toes to bar tend to go. Gymnastics in general, this is like good advice for this entire workout. Gymnastics has a tendency to go. So make sure that you're prepared for that. So now on to the strict handstand push-ups. I've taken off my one grip. So again, this is why I'm saying like I think the grips may have just been like a waste of time, but maybe it gave me a second to rest. So doing these mostly as twos at the beginning, but like I've said, gymnastics really tends to go. And something that I would think about now that I don't know if I was thinking about during the workout, but advice for people maybe watching this, just make sure you're bracing your core and bracing as much as you can. Just brace everything. Get tight for these strict handstand push-ups. It's not necessarily as important for the kipping. Once we're switching over to strict, you just have to respect the gymnastics. Respect the fact that when they go, they go. It's not like a burpee where you can just push through and die. If you can just hit muscle fatigue on this type of movement. So try not to do that. Remember that you need that line. I'm using that line there, and you just have to put your fingertips on it. So just things to keep in mind. Keep a little bit of a wider hands. My hands aren't super wide there. But here, this is like one of the issues. Right now, I'm like, dang, I gotta move my camera. Oh no, where, like I need to make sure I'm in the shot. So I'm like messing with my camera right now, as opposed to really focusing on, the workout. So a little bit of a distraction. You see now my judge and someone else is trying to mess with my camera. Like I mentioned, this is a class environment, so it's hard to get all of us in and fitted into this room, have the 15-foot rope, not be in the line of other people's cameras, not have judges standing in front of your cameras. It sort of becomes a whole thing. So obviously the shot, very bad, and somebody came over and tried to help with it, but I just missed my foot lock there because I was thinking about all these other things. Highly recommend not having to think about all of these things while doing a workout like this. See, I'm trying to help somebody. Now I'm trying to help someone with be able to see out of my camera and be able to better figure out where I am and what they have to adjust. And it's all crooked now. So my mind was sort of split between the workout and trying to make sure I was documenting the workout. I tried to push that out of my head because what's the help of doing that? That's not going to make me any better, and I don't have time to mess with the camera. So I tried to forget about that, but as you see, they're still working on it, and it was a bit of a distraction. But most people aren't posting their videos on YouTube, so it doesn't matter as much as it did for me. But now that we can actually see that line. So that line, that red line, not the yellow one. The yellow one is for some of the age groups, but the red one is what I'm tapping. And that's the first time you actually saw my tap. Again, this is a little thing that makes me consider redoing this workout because I was first messing with the camera, distracting. But anyway, let's get back to advice that's more helpful for all of you and not advice for me if I were to redo this. Make sure you are really just trying to do as many or as few, do as few pulls as possible. You're trying to be as efficient as you can on that rope climb, and your core is going to be taxed from those toes to bar. So just remember that and try to plan accordingly. So now I'm back to the wall. We still have a second set of rope climbs, and I will get more into the rope climbs again once we get there. I'm doing those twos. It just feels like if you're getting upside down and you have the opportunity to do a double, it's a smarter move than doing a single because you pick up so much more time. But I do eventually fail one, I believe. But we're already 4 in, so we're chipping away and we're moving, and I'm walking and trying to shake out my arms and keep on a good pace. That's what I was trying to do, give myself just the walk to rest and then get back on it. So step away, shake out, get back on it. Trying to make my rest very methodical as opposed to, failing. I think that's the only strict one I fail facing forward. We'll see when I face the wall. But just trying to take a rest, but not overly rest. I was looking at the clock a little bit, which is just out of shot, but trying to give myself enough time that I make the reps worth it when I get to do a rep like that there. You don't want to fail like I did. You want to make every rep count. but you don't want to wait so long that you're losing time and you're no longer being efficient. So trying to find that delicate balance of giving yourself a second to recover and be ready, but not too many seconds that you you waste time. Isn't that like part of the key of all of CrossFit? So I am chipping away down to singles, but you can do these as singles and still get pretty far into this workout. So just keep that in mind when you're grinding through it. You could do singles and you could stay in it. So respect the gymnastics, respect the fact that your arms are gonna go, brace everything, brace that core, something I wasn't thinking enough about during this workout, but really brace everything and grind. Like grind through like I did there if you have to, just grind. So now heading back to these rope climbs, luckily now I have someone working with my camera, so we're gonna get me hopefully mostly in frame here, and she's gonna follow me up the rope. It's tight space, lots of people working out, a little bit challenging, but I am not submitting my videos for the purpose of going to semifinals, so I'm not super concerned about it. But if you're someone who's trying to get to semifinals, do better at videoing than I did. Just throwing that out there, but those people have different goals, and I'm just here for fun and to share with all of you. So my body was starting to shake a little bit on these rope climbs. I was starting to really feel it, and I've talked to some other people just getting very fatigued on this last set of rope climbs. Your arms are going, so you really want to use your legs as much as humanly possible, because you see me shaking out my arms? You've been using those arms on the handstand push-ups, hanging from the pull-up bar, on the previous rope climbs. So really use your legs as much as you can. Pull those knees into your core, get them as close to your body as possible so you don't have to do as many pulls, so you can stand up tall and touch your target. It's a grind. These rope climbs are a grind, and they get a little bit scary because you're fatigued and you could fall. It's not like, again, like we talked about earlier, like a burpee, you can always do a burpee and they're fairly safe. This is something where, you know, you could fall and possibly hurt yourself. So give yourself the rest you need to get up the rope. Make each rope climb count. You don't want to get half a rope climb. And just keep your body close to the rope and use your legs as much as possible. That is going to be so key, because your arms are going to be fatigued, and if you're going to try to get some of those strict wall facings after this, you're going to be using your arms some more there. So if you can use your arms a little bit less, keep them long and use your legs, use your hips. That is my advice for getting through these rope climbs in a way that's going to put you in the best position to get some of those strict wall-facing handstand push-ups. So I did not check to see how to get onto the wall before this workout. Here's another execution error. I asked my judge, and she said I had to wall walk up. So that's what I started doing. And that is a ton of energy. And right now I'm resting before I even start because I have to do this wall walk up. There's like a small little step here that I have to do to get into this rep. And this is so much extra time under tension that I would not have done if I didn't need to. So, and I see I'm already like, that strict wall facing handstand push-up actually looked pretty good, but just the wall walk to get into that and then doing that took so much energy. I would not have done that if I had known that we could cartwheel up. So I was doing the wall walks, and now I'm like resting, thinking I have to do another wall walk, and someone yells at me, "Cartwheel up!" And I'm like, you're allowed to do that? I didn't know. So like now I'm resting all this extra time. That's what she just yelled at me. I just said I can. I didn't know I could cartwheel up, and now I'm starting right away. So I lost a lot of time there trying to recover, thinking I had to do a whole nother wall walk, and I didn't. I just think there was so much more time for me to possibly have finished these 10, and I don't. I end up getting 8 reps of the 10. But you know what? We're not going to be down bad crying at the gym. We're just going to like deal with what happened. I made that mistake. I should have checked the rule on that before. Oh, that was a fail. As long as you know how to fail. Like, that's what's important. Just know how to fail. I was totally fine laughing at myself. But, you know, I should have checked beforehand. I didn't check. That's on me, partially. And I was told something that was true, but not the only option. So I needed to, you know, read that beforehand. I didn't. That was my bad. This is so much easier for me to get into and so much faster than a wall walk and so much less taxing for me. So it's really what I should have done the whole time, but I did not. So my bad, but definitely because of that, I think I might have lost a couple of extra reps and an opportunity to possibly do a muscle up, but it is what it is. Another thing on this, just like I said on the more traditional strict facing walls, facing out handstand push-ups, you got to brace your core, brace everything, and try not to fall like I did there. But if you're going to fall, I think do it similarly like I just did. That's probably the best way to fall. But I made a mistake there, kind of a bummer, but you live and you learn. We all do it, but that's why that and messing with the camera earlier are kind of the reasons why I'd consider redoing this. And because it's not like a super cardiovascular workout like the last one that we did, or the first two. It's a workout that's a lot of, just being prepared, knowing what you're going to do. It's just a little bit different than those, like the box jump workout where you're just dying. This one, those little execution errors could make a huge difference. So that's why this one I would consider redoing. Not totally sure if I will. It depends on timing, depends on availability at the gym. So we shall see. But it was a good one. Okay, just finished up. My hair is wild. I have to get to work. But first, that one was probably the most fun one for me so far, but it's the only one so far that I would actually consider redoing. And that's more just because there were like multiple execution errors. I'm sure you heard in the voiceover portion, so I won't repeat them now. But that's the only reason I'd consider redoing it. I don't even know if I'll bother. If it ever repeats, I think I'd have a decent chance at improving. There's definitely that. Just execution errors are the one thing that makes me consider redoing these workouts. Nothing else. Like execution errors in the sense that like things that wasted time for reasons like beyond your control, not like you didn't pace it right, which is a reason you could redo things, but not a reason I'm redoing these quarterfinal workouts or consider redoing them. Just things that are like like moving my camera, starting the movement the wrong way. Those things are things that make me think maybe I should just try one more time. But I don't even know if I'll have time for that because work, life, busy, so we'll see. Probably not. But this is the only one that has a possibility so far. Anyway, I appreciate you all for watching. That's workout 3. It's in the books. We've done it. Workout 4 we have left. I feel like that video is going to be kind of boring. But come back for it if you want to see. Make sure you like this video, subscribe. Lots more CrossFit content to come after quarterfinals. So even if workout 4 is boring, there's more stuff to come. All right, see you in the next one.